Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another MX vs ATV Reflex custom track gameplay. Excuse me. Where today, we're going to be playing a track called Roadside MX Park by El Diablo Paul, which is actually a quote-unquote beta track right now. I guess he hasn't released it yet. So this is obviously just going to be a free ride map, but I mean, to me this track looks pretty well darn done, and I like it. I think it's pretty unique and interesting. Supposedly that backdrop that's right in front of me here is Mount St. Helens, which is in Washington. You may remember the famous Mount St. Helens volcanic eruption back in the 1980s. And that is the volcano mountain, whatever you want to call it, that Glen Helen got its nickname for its very tall uphill. So it's not the Mount St. Helens of Glen Helen that I think most moto fans are probably synonymous with, but that is the actual real-life Mount St. Helens in Washington. It's kind of cool, just a little tidbit he mentioned there. But all in all, this track is pretty good, I think. The one thing I guess I don't like about it is that it's pretty, like, up and down. Like, I like elevation change, but I would like if he maybe went a little bit more into that than just, like, up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. So that's like the one thing I can pick out that's not good, but everything else seems to flow pretty well. He's got a pretty good idea for how like uphill whoop sections and downhill whoop sections should feel. I like the way that some of the sections are organized. Like this double right here is fun, and then you excuse me, swing around this bowl corner, and then you got like a step on off section, and it just like it has really good flow. So I'm not too sure what the exact reason is that it's still in beta. I know that he had commented on Reflex Central that he wished more people would talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it and say that I think it's a good track. I would recommend releasing it if he wants to. He did say thanks to Dark Slides 19 for putting up with him. I would imagine with help with like bump models and things like that, so kudos to Dark Slides, I guess, for coming through on that aspect. But I think the environment works pretty well on this one. This section's pretty fun right here. Got a whip section into a step down and then a triple into the corner. Like, I could definitely see people playing this for like a national track or something like that in a custom playlist online or something like that. Pretty good looking track in my opinion. But like I said, like it's really just so picky to be like this, but it's just like it's really standard, like left 180, right 180, left 180, right 180, and then like this is the one spot of the track where it kind of breaks that mold, because then you have this left 90, but then it goes up into the hill again, and then it's right 180, like just a little bit more like, variety, I guess would be the right word when it comes to splitting up the sections. Like maybe have one of the sections just go right up and over the hill, down the backside, stuff like that. But all in all, I don't think that ruins the track at all. I think it's still a very fun track. And to me, like, this honestly looks like a track that could have been released with the game. Maybe some subtle environment changes where the hills aren't as abrupt in some spots, I guess. But, like, I feel like this is solid work on an environment. Like, it's got a really good skybox on it. He's got trees in pretty normal spots that you'd expect to see trees, a lot of rocks, grandstands. It's got an actual like legit starting gate. He built a parking lot like right in front of us there, you can see, and I'll probably go explore that at some point. I'm probably gonna do like 3 or 4 laps and then go kind of weave through the track a little bit. The banners on the outside of the berms, I mean, like in general it just looks like a track that would have been released with the game, honestly. Like, pretty standard, like easy, simple track. And it's fun to ride. A couple things that catch you off guard, I guess, would be that when you come down off of this hill and you're going through the whoops. I came through this the first lap, and I'll basically show you what I did because I don't really care. I came flying through this corner, and I'm like, oh, cool, big Red Bull jump. Let's send it. And I'm like, oh, well, I wasn't really supposed to send it. My bad. So it just catches you off guard. Not that he should change it or anything. I don't think he should. I think that's totally fine that there's a section like that makes you kind of actually not go full send mode. So that's kind of cool. But just, I guess, a funny story from when I played the track the first time because I was just like, yeah, Red Bull, woo, okay, big jump, and okay, this is not meant to be like this. But yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable track. Maybe change this section because it's pretty easy to just get in the center of it and like ride down the middle, so it's pretty one line there. Like maybe make each side of it a little bit bigger so you actually have to pick a side and then use it as a rhythm section. But that's, again, just like small little things. Like I'm not trying to, you know, pick it apart too much, but he asked for a review, and I think that, you know, there's good spots in this track. Like I said, the uphill and downhill whoop sections are a cool feature. Maybe not do so many of them because there's like 4 or 5 sections where it's just a whoop section up or down a hill. But I don't think it's bad. Again, you know, like I think that's a unique aspect. Like he turns it into like a rhythm section here where it's like whoops and then some like rollers up the hill. Good flow. And that's what you ask for out of a track that's a custom track. You know, sometimes people make tracks that 70% of the track is awesome, and then you find one section that's like, ugh, this part sucks, or, you know, something like that. And none of this track really sticks out as like a, oh, I'm dreading to go through this section, this lap or whatever, because it all, I think, flows pretty well. But it is very straightforward, as I said. There's nothing crazy wild about it that, like, you know, you'd have to hit a rhythm section different or anything like that. It just feels like your normal, kind of tucked into the hills, little Washington State type of motocross track. I don't know if it's a replica or not. I mean, I read his whole description. I didn't see anything that said it was a replica, but I could very easily see it being something that is a replica in Washington State. So that's kind of cool, I suppose. I wish that you could play this track with AI, which I guess, well, no, I can't because it's a free ride map, but if it was like a regular map, I guess I could have tried. But it'd have been cool to have like a little battle with somebody on this track, because it's definitely a battle-worthy track. When you make tracks like this that are simple enough that almost anybody could play them, it usually means that it's a pretty level playing field and you can have some pretty fun, intense battles. So maybe I'll play it online at some point. It's pretty straightforward though, like I said. I guess maybe I'll just do one more lap and then kind of free ride around, so I'll show you the environment a little bit and that'll be it. Pretty straightforward. If you want to download it, like any of these tracks, you can always hit up the description below to give it a whirl. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Side note, I would love to go riding in Washington State one of these days. I've been there to see Washougal, and I know that there's a couple tracks up there that are pretty fun to ride, but in general, like, it seems like a really beautiful place to ride with really good dirt. The mostly year-round rainfall that they have, I'm sure, produces some really good days when it comes to like going riding on a track after a good little rainfall, maybe a day or two after it, so it has time to kind of set in. Makes the dirt really nice and loamy. Could be wrong though, but that's just my view of what I've seen of the dirt in the Pacific Northwest. And I'm only mentioning that because this track looks a lot like a track that would be up there. Mount St. Helens in the skybox aside. I feel like when I was playing this track earlier, I noticed there was a couple spots to do some big transfers, so maybe I'll try to find one of those before the video's over. Not many reflex tracks you can play that have big transfers on them. I'm gonna try to triple into this section. And kinda got it. And then we step up onto that, I guess. Not too bad, not too shabby. But yeah, I would recommend that if El Diablo Paul has not released this yet, which maybe he has somewhere and I haven't seen it, that this would be a worthy track release. Like, why not? You know, it's a good track. Obviously, he put his fair share of time into it to make it good, and I mean, I like it. I'm sure other people would find some pleasure in playing it as well. That, you know, you could play it as an actual track. So here's what I'm talking about environment-wise. Like, he's got already the backdrop starting gate here. Got a little scoring tower right next to it. And out here, there's like a parking lot, which I'm trying to decide if it has terrain deformation or not. I don't think it does. If it does, it's very, very sticky and grippy. So that's kind of neat. Look, it's even got a road. And then there's a front entrance too. Look at that. That's really cool. Let's see what it says. Open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Open practice Tuesday, Thursday, racing every Friday and Saturday. Cool. See, like that's just like little subtle details. He even has handicap spots. I mean, they're like maybe the world's longest parking spots, but they're handicapped nonetheless. Got the rocks, all that cool stuff. I think it's a good track. Would recommend to a friend. Transfer City, tried to make it work. Not gonna work. Let's just throw a big whipper tail then, huh? Oh, quarter pipe action. So this was Roadside MX by El Diablo Paul. Go ahead, download it in the description below if you wish to play it. If you don't wish to play it, then that's fine too. You know, you can just be like, I don't wish to play it. I'm not gonna. But I would recommend it because it's a fun track. And, you know, put it on a server, play with your friends, do whatever you want. But there's been another MX vs. ATV Reflex custom track gameplay. That was almost a sick transfer right there. And I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, there's always a like and subscribe button, but you don't have to because, you know, that's the beauty of YouTube. But I hope to see you guys in any future video that we have because it's always fun and enjoyable when you have an audience to discuss something with. So I thank thee for watching another video here on our channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.